So my name is Ryan Corbley, and along with my groupmates Jordan and Connor, we will be discussing the situation analysis and the marketing strategy plan for Steamworks Brewing Company. So a little bit about Steamworks. It was opened in 1996 in Durango, so it's been around for quite some time. And since opening, Steamworks has established itself as a pretty popular spot to eat and drink um, in town, in downtown Durango. So, starting off with the situation analysis, the size and share of the total market, although we don't really have any exact numbers or anything, it's pretty safe to assume that Steamworks controls the majority of the market as kind of a restaurant brewery in downtown Durango. There are a few others that are similar, but Steamworks is definitely one of the biggest, just in terms of dining area um, and bar space as well. And so, as for our sales history, costs, and profits, we couldn't really get any exact numbers either, but we used some data from Ska Brewing, which is a very similar business in Durango, and we just used those numbers to kind of estimate how much Steamworks spends and makes a year. Um, so we have our operating costs at around $2 million a year, with our annual revenue around $12 million a year. And the average monthly profit seems to be around $500,000 a month. Um, and the summer months were definitely higher revenue months. Warm weather definitely helps because the colder months, the winter months, had a lot less revenue. And as for the distribution practices and methods of selling for Steamworks, um, it's just a dine-in and take-out restaurant. Pretty much everything is on location. Sometimes you can find some of their beers in liquor stores around town, but other than that, pretty much everything um, comes from Steamworks itself. The combination of being a craft brewery as well as a restaurant is an excellent method of selling because those two things go very well together, um, and people come to the restaurant for both of those things. Scott Brewing also uses a lot of advertising to maintain its popularity within the town of Durango. Um, the storefront, first of all, is very noticeable. Even from Main Street, Steamworks is visible. It's pretty hard to miss, and that helps a lot. Kind of garner more attention, especially from people who might not know about it, like tourists coming through. Um, Steamworks might stick out a little more than other places for those people. Additionally, Steamworks likes to host events and sponsor events in town as well. Um, Steamworks does that a lot, and it's been really a really good method of generating popularity for Steamworks within the town of Durango. As for the identification of prospective customers, Steamworks sees quite a broad um, number of people as a prospective customer. That's a restaurant, it's a brewery. Um, it's pretty hard to find anyone who doesn't drink beer or eat food. So Steamworks is very appealing to most people. Um, and definitely sees majority of people as potential customers. The nature of Steamworks product is pretty straightforward, and that's why it has such a wide consumer base. Basically, it's just a really nice variety of dishes with a lot of local flavors and a really nice selection of craft beer is mainly what Steamworks produces. So as for the SWOT analysis, the strengths that Ska Brewing has are pretty numerous. Like I said before, our location is really good, right on the corner of 8th Avenue and 2nd Street. So as for the strengths of Steamworks Brewing as part of the SWOT analysis, first of all, as I said before, is located on the corner of 8th Street and 2nd Avenue in downtown Durango, so it's really accessible from Main Street. It's really noticeable, and that area gets a lot of traffic. So it's really ideal spot for a restaurant and brewery. Additionally, it's pretty well regarded among the people who eat there. People seem to like the food quite a bit. People seem to like the atmosphere. At least that's what seems to be the consensus among the locals in Durango. It's also a very large establishment. Has a really large dining area. There's some outdoor seating as well available, and it has a really large bar as well. So it can accommodate a lot of people pretty easily. And also Steamworks has takeout available in addition to dine-in, which is also nice. It allows more people to access our product, basically. And so as for weaknesses, sometimes the wait times can be pretty long, especially on Friday and Saturday nights. During the summer as well, it can get really busy. That often leads to lines out the door, which is a good thing, which means it's popular, but still it can be pretty frustrating for customers to have to wait in line. Ends with a lot of people just deciding to go somewhere else if they have to wait in line too long. So that is definitely an issue there. And the prices can be somewhat high as well compared to other places. So that's definitely another kind of weak area for Steamworks Brewing, but it's definitely not too bad. And so as for opportunities, different times of the year provide really nice opportunities for seasonal products and events. So seasonal beers, maybe seasonal menu changes, events and stuff like that. As I mentioned before, Steamworks hosts a lot of events and things. That can definitely help generate a lot of popularity and keep people coming back. Keep things fresh, keep things from just being the same throughout the entire year. That's definitely very good opportunity for variety, having those kind of seasonal things. Another opportunity is expanding the amount of brewery products that are in retailers. Can definitely use some expanding in terms of third-party liquor stores that carry Steamworks beer. And as for threats, pretty much the main thing is our competitors, Ska, Carver's, Anarchy Brewing, places like that offer pretty similar experiences, being breweries that also have food available. And although Scott isn't in downtown, it's still in the town of Durango, so both are in fairly close proximity to Steamworks. So it's pretty realistic that some of our potential customers go to those other places instead. And then obviously, another threat, supply chain issues are a problem for pretty much every business, and Steamworks is no different. And that can disrupt business, disrupt our menu selection, our beer selection, stuff like that. So it's always definitely something to take into account when making a decision.
Hello, my name's Connor, and I'm going to talk to you all about the marketing strategy plan. So our first stop is going to be marketing objectives. For Steamworks, the marketing objectives are to increase brand awareness and increase in-store sales among our target market, being local families. Next, we're going to take a look at product and spending strategy, starting with the product strategy. So first, I'm going to define the product range and differentiation. So Steamworks offers a wide range of food dishes and excels in their brewing craft. They say on their website, healthy salads, delicious pizzas, spicy Southwestern-style dishes, and vegetarian and gluten-free offerings provide something for everyone who's hungry. Stop by to discover what's on tap, hang with the locals, catch a game, enjoy a fresh beer and outstanding food. Every day promises a screaming deal and fun to be had. So next we're going to look at the quality and consistency. So Steamworks dishes are consistently high quality, which you wouldn't expect to find for a brewery. Steamworks has also made a name for themselves in the brewing industry, solidifying themselves as one of the best of the best. Some rewards Steamworks has received include the following as listed. So as we can see from this list of awards, it shows the dedication to craft and quality that Steamworks has for their beers. Many of these award-winning beers are still served on location. Next, I'm going to talk to you all about seasonal and limited edition offerings. Steamworks provides seasonal offerings and has several rotating seasonal options on tap. Steamworks should experiment with limited edition products to create excitement and encourage customers to make a purchase. Next, packaging and presentation. So Steamworks provides unique packaging for their draft beers as well as the wines that they offer. For pickup items, they have a logo printed bag as well as a logo printed to-go container. Each item they provide has a touch point for the customers to visualize the company. We should focus on incorporating as many touch points as possible to increase brand recall. Now I'm going to have Jordan talk to you all about spending strategy. Thank you.
All right, so let's dive into the spending strategy. So for our marketing budget, we're going to utilize a 70-20-10 rule. This can be subject to change if proven non-effective, but basically what 70% of the budget will be spent on is capabilities and programs with a well-established track record. The remaining 30% will be split into 20 and 10, and the 20% is going to be new initiatives that complement the 70%, and 10% for experimental initiatives that haven't been tested yet. Return on investment, or ROI, there's 8 measuring metrics that we're going to use. Revenue growth, gross margin, operating margin, earnings per share, return on assets, return on equity, price to earnings ratio, debt to equity ratio. And then as far as our target audience here, our target market is primarily focused on local families in the Durango area. This is to ensure we stay relevant amidst the wide variety of local competition of breweries and restaurants in the area. So as for involvement, we'll be sponsoring local events as well as contributing to local charities. This is crucial for Steamworks as a business to show that our target audience, that we're devoted to them and the community that we're based out of. So as for adaptability and flexibility, we will have to adjust our spending strategy based on market trends, customer feedback, the performance of different marketing channels utilized. And then for our distribution strategy, the target market Steamworks will focus on is local families, and we'll be looking for an establishment that they all can enjoy. Now that we have identified the target market, we will need to identify distribution channels to move forward. So Direct sales at the brewery is one of them. So this is selling products directly to customers who visit the brewery. Wholesale to local retailers. So we could distribute products to local bars, restaurants, liquor stores, and specialty retailers. Either working with a distributor or setting up direct accounts. Distribution to events and festivals. We will participate in local events, festivals, and markets where we can sell our products directly to attendees. As for online sales and e-commerce, set up an e-commerce platform to sell merchandise, package products, and even offer subscriptions or merchandise for delivery. As for collaborations with restaurants and caterers, we could partner with local restaurants and caterers to have our products featured on their menu or as part of a catering package. So we could sell our beers at Mexican restaurants here that are local in town, or anything but local competition like Carver's, because that wouldn't work because they have their own line of products, so that wouldn't work. But any other restaurant that isn't fully involved in the brewing and beverage industry would work. As far as the marketing mix that is being used, so for the products, Steamworks should focus on crafting quality dishes and high quality innovative craft beers that cater to the taste and preferences of its target market. This can include a range of beer styles, seasonal releases, or dishes, and potentially non-alcoholic options for a broader appeal. We could also implement a feedback system, actively monitor online reviews and comments, and take action to address customer concerns promptly. This will help us assess what products are working and what are not. As far as price, we can determine optimal pricing strategies based on production costs, competitive analysis, and perceived value to customers. Factors like premium pricing for special releases or lower pricing for introductory products. As far as place or distribution, a multi-channel distribution approach would be optimal. This includes sales at the brewery, wholesale to local retailers, participation in events, online sales, and collaborations with local businesses. As far as promotion, we can develop a comprehensive promotional plan to create awareness and drive sales. This will involve a mix of strategies, though. So some of these could be advertising, both digital, social media, online ads, and traditional, like local publications or the radio. We can also implement a new social media advertising plan while still maintaining traditional marketing channels. We can also maintain an active presence on platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and X, or formerly known as Twitter. We can share engaging content, behind-the-scenes looks, and promote events and special releases. We can also offer referral incentives for existing customers. We could also do events and sponsorships, so we could host brewery events, sponsor local festivals, or collaborate with local businesses and organizations. For content marketing, we could create a blog or a video series about the brewing process, beer pairings, and local community involvement. We could also implement a tiered loyalty program with exclusive benefits, send personalized offers and newsletters, and gather feedback to improve customer experience. In addition, we can identify and reach out to relevant local influencers in the food and beverage industry for collaboration on events, reviews, or even just social media posts in general. We can share behind-the-scenes content, run contests or giveaways, and encourage user-generated content. As well, we can advertise special promotions or events on local radio stations or on social media, partner with local tour operators, and offer loyalty rewards for frequent visitors. In addition, we can also optimize our website for local search and create and share relevant content on social media and actively manage online reviews. As far as public relations go, we can engage with local media for features, press releases about new releases or events that we're hosting, and even just hosting beer tasting for journalists and influencers. We can also highlight the eco-friendliness practices in our marketing and participate in community cleanup events and actively engage with local environmental groups. So for the last one, identification of best marketing segments. So like we've said, the target market for Steamworks, it should focus on local families in Durango to build loyalty, recall, and advocates of the brand. Once solidly established in this market, we can rely on them to keep bringing business in during tough times throughout the year. As well as after we are solid in this market, we can further branch out and focus on other markets to thrive in, such as like focusing on the tourists that come into town in different times of the season and stuff like that.